Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So my little cluster of fruit, my still life, what have I done since I left you? I finished the leaves just with some fly stitch. I haven't yet ironed out the black lines that were in behind, so I'm yet to do that. I found a little bit of lace. Yeah, I said I just wanted something poking out this side, so I've done that, and also did a overcast stitch around that outer edge. So I feel like this corner is finished. What else did I do? Oh, in the center I did feather stitch around that side of the pear, overcast stitch through there, running stitch on this side, so it's got that similar style to the apple. I haven't done any extra stitching on this fellow because I just love the camphor stitch, the little piece of camphor quilt. So what I've done now, what I plan to do is have a look at some beads. So I'm thinking I want some of these muted tones. So I've got a cream, there's a green. Yeah, I'm thinking along those lines. And yeah, just embellish, I guess. So let's have a go. I think I want to go in the center here first. This will get me at least started. So I hope you guys are all fine and dandy. Anything exciting happening in your world? Not a lot happening in mine. Don't knock beads everywhere because then it will be exciting. And now I've lost my thread. Seriously. I've been out gardening again and my hands are so dry. I really need to dig out a heavy duty hand cream. So the one I'm using is just not penetrating. It's washing your hands all the time, isn't it? It's constantly washing my hands. So I'm thinking I'm just going to do a smattering of beads around the center. I started feathering this out too. I sort of felt like I wanted to see the camphor quilt in all its glory. Let's open up another set of beads. Put that needle away, we don't need it. I thought Fudgy might join us today, but he is sound asleep. He has had his breakfast. He's had a little roll around in the sun. And now he's like in his bed, sound asleep. So the fudge, I don't think is going to appear. So there's just a few little beads there. Okay, so I might sneak up that. Oh, seriously, it's my big mitt in the way, has ripped out that thread again. Gosh. So this is going to be riveting viewing for those of you who might be in a hurry and want to catch me another time. I'll just be beading in today's video, so if you wanted to dodge off or watch someone else and come back to me when you've got some work in your hands and just want to hang out, I will not be offended. It's just popping a few beads around. I think this will just be the icing on the cake. Oh, that's very thick. And my bead needle's very wobbly. It's just that that little detail I think it needed. I nearly didn't do beading. I was looking at it and thinking, oh, just leave it natural, you know, but I can't help myself. There we go. Let's put a little pale one in there. So the other colour was green. Might get those green ones and see what we can do with those. I'm hoping that once I finish this video, I can stitch it into my journal, which will be exciting. Let's see about these guys. I sort of feel like the apple needs a Did I just jump all the way down there, or did I start afresh? No, I started afresh. Just anchor that stitch. Just going to do a little bit of green beads, I think, around the top of this apple. I think it'll be a nice little detail. Most of my beads have come from All About Beads. They're a Brisbane bead shop at Browns Plains. Brisbane girls, if you haven't been there, it's well worth the trip. Go down to the back corner as you enter their shed on the left-hand side, and these beads are sitting in little canisters in numerous sizes down in that corner. And they're really nice because they're not necessarily shiny. They're just like a little flat coloured bead. I really like them. I don't know what I'm doing here with these green beads, but we're going for it. Seriously, if we could just keep a needle threaded, we'd have such a more enjoyable experience. 2 beads at one time. I like that. I'm thinking I might go back the other way. I like how that's given that little detail there. Or do I just leave it at that? I don't know. It's like a brush of a stroke of the ink. You know, when they're painting and they just do a little touch here and a touch there, and then you step back and suddenly there's a nostril on a face, and it's the tiniest little strokes of ink or paint. Oh, I just think that's amazing. That's what I'm attempting to do, is to paint a nostril. I think you guys know what I mean. Come on. Nope, it's split. Ah, beading is such a joy, isn't it? Such a joy. Okay, so what I'm thinking of doing is drifting into, I was really looking forward to this whole beading side of it. Might be a case of we get it started and then I'll toddle off. I've got to do some housework today, guys. Oh my goodness. I I can't jump over the tumbleweeds anymore. No, I'm exaggerating. It's not that bad, but oh my goodness. Feels like forever since I've swung on the end of a mop and a broom. So there's an extra day in this month of April if we are to be, careful, don't disintegrate the leaf. Yeah. And I'm thinking I'm going to explore the pear a little bit more. I mentioned earlier in this series that I've got a little Christmas tree that was my great grandmother's, somewhere back there. And it's pretty scrappy, came from Germany when they first came to Australia. A lot of you know this story, so go and mop your floor while I bring everyone up to speed. Yeah, so, and I've made over the years different decorations for it. I feel like it's my little handcrafted space. And I made a mushroom, the Roxy Girls. There was a prompt and the mushroom came to be a Christmas decoration. And I absolutely love it. And I'd love a pear. Partridge in a pear tree. And I mentioned at the beginning of the April month with Susanna's prompt that I wouldn't mind doing a encrusted pear. So that's what I shall do in the next video, and it'll probably roll into the next month a bit too. I don't know. We'll see how I program it. Maybe I have squished up this series a little bit instead of once a week, twice a week, and then the pear comes in, the 3D pear, and it's middle of the month and we're on to a 3-dimensional pear. Who knows? So yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I like that beading there. Now I'm thinking about going to the bottom of the apple now. I'm doing something in there with some beads. It's a bit of a feature down into here. I feel like there's always that darker tone. So I might bring these guys forward now. Yeah, so stay tuned. I've still got the tree up. Yes, I know it's not Christmas, but I just love it. She's an old girl and I enjoy having her to look at every day. It sits on a counter, so it's not like it's a big tree in the middle of my room. And as I make different things like pears and that, they can be hung. But having said that, you know, I might make this pear that I'm banging on about and then pack the tree away, because it is nice when you unpack your Christmas decorations and things pop out of the box that you think, oh. And I want to do it in wools and lace and gold. I'll get the mushroom and have a look at that, because I was really happy with the colours that the mushroom. Just going to, I think, swish the beads back up that way. It's really helping to get that, define the shape of the apple, that it kicks up there. Mind you, I think the seeds actually are higher, but anyway, we'll put it down to the apple is on an angle. It's artistic. Love it. Love, love, love it. Just felt like they needed just a little something, a little bit of glamour. Here we go. Now I might scoot. This is at the point, do you stop or do you overdo it? Because you're going to overdo it. But I think we can handle some beads in the center with the seeds. Come on. Yes, I'm going to have a day of cleaning today, I think. Get up through there. I need to end this thread off. It's going to come unthreaded. Just get one more stitch in him. And I think my pear, well, I know my pear will be sliced in half with the seeds. I think that looks really, really cool. Probably a size in between the two. I could make him three-dimensional, but the little tree has got not a lot of strength to its little branches. So I've got to be a little bit careful about weight. So I think it'll be a flat pear like that. Just glamorous. I think that's probably enough on the apple. I might just come over here, do a little bit of stitching. I feel like that center line of the pear is a good place to be with beads. But I think I can be a little bolder. Then I think the next spot I feel like I want to go to is up the top here and have some beads coming down the outer edge up here and sort of drifting down the top. Get some of these creamier ones in. Come on. Yeah, I like that. See, it pays to be a bit braver, doesn't it? Do I go any further with them? No. Just end that off, I think. Now let's go up to the top of that pear. So if I couldn't just put glue there and dust it with them. All right, let's get in under that. Now, don't want to lose that hint of the story, the camphor quilt and how we split it to get all the gorgeous fabrics out. I think I'll stay. I'm going to spin this around a bit. I feel like my hand, if I don't stay away from those containers a little, is going to smack it and they're going to go flying. So if you feel like making a pear for your Christmas tree, dig out some fabrics that suit your colours on your Christmas tree, whether it's multicolored or gold or silver. A little bit of Christmas stitching in April. Why not, I say? Why not? Any excuse to have a play. I'm just throwing a few stitches in here. This little piece of crocheted lace is not as secure as I'd like it to sit. So a few extra stitches. Yeah. It's going to be very encrusted up there with these little guys. I'm thinking about the background and all that, but at the moment I haven't come up with anything I really want to do. This is very hard to stitch through, so it's probably pressure I don't need to put on my hands. There is detail there. So I'm probably overthinking it. So that's where I'm at with the background. I'm pretty sure I've finished it. Could do a stitch in along there, but it bumps into the sashiko stitching we did at the very beginning of the series. So I'm like, no, just leave it. Focus on the pears, make them decorative. Just stick to this edge. Now I've got a bit of a cluster. Now I just want to follow the line of the pear down. See, it's so tight, that fabric in behind. It's really dense. And when you do a lot of stitching like I do, you've got to be a little bit picky on the fabrics I use, because it's just pressure on joints that, you know, I think I've said 100 times that I want to be stitching when I'm 130. So the girl needs to be a little bit cautious. There we go. Maybe I dig out some of my French fabrics for my pear. Some of the old antique linens and hemps, and there's a fabric I used on the mushroom, the stalk of the mushroom. It's a wool. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm thinking of working that into it. Okay, I think that's enough up there. Probably could be bolder, but no. We're going to just, oh, come on, seriously. My poor fingers, they're so beaten at the moment. I need a better knot than that, guys. I'm being a bit slap happy there. It's tricky when you're doing chores outside, cleaning and building fences and retainers and retainer walls, and you know, it's just your poor old hands. Touching timber, concrete, pavers, potting plants, you know, all those good things. It's nice, but it's good to be outside. Well, I might pause the video, and I'm going to bead across the top here. I might even bring, I'm going to back in up here. I feel like we need to come on the other side. I'll do a little bit more. I can hear my husband's up. Oh, that's so hard to push the needle through. So pleasant. My hubby's out of bed and in the kitchen making his morning drink. So I'm a bit peckish, so I might actually toddle off, go and catch him in the kitchen and make some toast, I think. I have an avocado sitting on the bench, ripe and ready to roll, and it is just burning a hole. So I'll just stitch these couple up here, and then I might, we're only about, we're not even halfway through the video, so I might not do any beading off camera, because all we got, oh gosh, I've got beads everywhere now. All we got to do is a bit of work on that pear. So I might just pause the video, go and find myself a piece of avocado on toast. Have that. Finish the coffee that I haven't finished yet. Then I'll be back and we'll carry on beading, and then it'll be done. I might fire up the iron too, actually, and get rid of that. I'm going to end that off. Okay, guys, what's the time? We're 26 minutes in. I'll have to remember that. All right, I shall be back. I'm off to have some toast. I'll see you soon. Hi guys, I'm back. So I've had my avocado on toast, feeling a little bit more refreshed. I started looking at the avocado and the seed. It was funny. I'm just standing there staring at this avocado, thinking that seed would be good beaded, and then the green that is avocado on the outside, and then that real dark green, and then there's that brighter green on the inside. Isn't it funny? You're doing some stitching of fruit or vegetables or a bird, and you find yourself staring at things. Do you do that? I do. So the plan now is to do an encrusted piece of stitching up the top here. Still haven't really bought the green beads in. I probably could on this guy. Fudgy's up having a little bit of his breakfast. He too felt like some breakfast. Let's bring the little green guys over. They're on the apple but not on the pears so far, so I think we could spread a bit of green. Come on, in you go. Oh yeah, I like that green. Do I need to go to the other pear and put green in? Probably not. Can you hear Fudgy lapping? Fudgy's been very quiet lately. Just not his usual self, but he's eating, he's drinking, his toiletry functions seem the same. He just seems quiet. He's really settled into the house at Burrum. He is commuting still with us. If we're up here for a couple of weeks, Fudgy comes with. And he really seems at home, I think. So I don't know. He's coming up to 18, old Fudgy. Which still, you know, cats can live into their 20s and he's in really good health. So I don't think there's anything wrong, but I don't know. You know when you have a feeling that like he's absolutely going for his breakfast there. So it's not like he's off his food. Maybe I'm just overthinking it. Just keep an eye on him, I guess. like that. I like that little bit of green up there. See, there's green. He's just hopped back into bed. See, now he would walk across to us. If I'm filming and chatting to you guys, he'd have to come and investigate. But he's had a big feed and he's just jumped straight back into bed. Yesterday he was real lazy and just laid in the sun everywhere. So on the eastern side of the house in the morning, he was there. And then during the day he moved to the southern side and his hammocky thing is on the glass over my kitchen bench thing that's in my studio. And then on the western side, he was on the mat at the glass door to the west side of the studio. So he followed the sun all day. And I don't know, I felt like he was looking for warmth. So I dug out his electric blanket that he has in winter. And I've plugged it in last night and put it in his bunk, his comfy bed. And this morning he was in there, which is not unusual, but he hopped up, had a little stretch, went to the toilet, went back to bed. Now he's had some food, he's gone back to bed. So I think yesterday he was sort of looking for the sun and the warmth. And now that I've put his electric blanket back in his bunk, he just hasn't got out of bed. He eats and goes back to bed. And at the end of the day, he's a cat. Cats do that. But I don't know, he's just... maybe it's nothing. Usually if they say they go off their food or ow, you know, you can think, oh, well, maybe it's something. And that certainly hasn't happened. Keep an eye on him. Ow. Gosh, that is hard to push through. That's it. I'm out of there. I'm not doing any more at the top there. That is just, that needle is going to go through my finger due to the resistance. I'm going to get a new piece of cotton and I'm going to go to the bottom of the pear and put some beads on its bottom. Okay. Down here. Yeah, see, big difference. Start with 3 just to get us going. He's cleaning himself in his bed. So he's still got hygiene practices, so that's probably a good thing. He's not, you know, some cats when they're getting near to the end of their life, their fur starts looking really ratty as they're starting to stop the grooming process as much. He's not, he still looks pretty good. So I'm probably just imagining it. Anyway, we'll change the subject. I'll start feeling a bit sad. Don't know what I'd do without Pussycat around. Okay, that's good. I'm happy with this. Just a bit of a beaded bottom on the pear. I think I'll come right across the bottom of that lace. What else are we going to do to our piece? Wish you guys were sitting here at the other end of the table so we could all have a discussion. Huh. It's all good. I shall figure it out. I think I'm going to do a line through there. see, then it bumps into that sashiko. That was my theory a few minutes ago, wasn't it? Pre-toast. Whoop, bing. Okay. Bit of green. It's a bit of a shadow, light and shadow thing happening there. I told you I ironed out the black lines on my way back from the avocado and toast. So I'm planting a seed now. You guys will all be looking for avocado and toast next. The bloomin' Corrine, she's banging on about it. Oh, come on, pick up the beads. They're getting a bit shallow, so it's making it a bit harder to scoop. Fudgy's looking at me from the ovaries, little bunk. Little sneeze. I heard that earlier. Do cats sneeze? Is that normal? Maybe he's got a flu. Okay, I just put one more bead and then I think it might be done. Okay, let's have a little look. Got threads caught up in the back that don't belong to the piece. Don't know where that's come from. Trim it all off. Close the beads before there's a spillage. Okay, that's looking good. Here we go. Can you see the little beads? Top, bottom, through the center, a few at the top, and then the little apple. Oh, I like it. Let's have a think about this line. Maybe I do it in the colour that sashiko thread was. Where did I put that? Back in the Japanese. Hold that thought, guys. Yeah. This is... Or do I do a bit of that design up there? Oh gosh, now we're heading off on another tangent. Where's the stencil? Oh my goodness, guys. You know what I'm going to do? I've got the stencil again. I feel like I need to do some more of this. That. I'm going to do it. And I thought I'd be finished. I'm going to drift. Here we go, off on another tangent. You guys will be thinking, oh my gosh, the girl has gone back to the original process. Just felt like the background needed a little something. So let's drift the background from the other side up here. And it's roughly in line, so it looks like it continues over here. Just can't stop this piece, can I? Just can't put it down. The more you add, the better it'll look, girl. So I will toddle off and stitch this in. Oh gosh, there's that hard fabric again. Won't this be pleasant? Okay, so that will be there. Yep, I like it. I wonder if I should put it up here as well. I think I will. That's going to be hard to stitch, but I think it'll be a nice detail. I can always iron it out if I don't like it, but I think I will. Just felt like my background, my fruit has become very decorative, but my background has become very non-existent. Well, it's not non-existent, but you know what I mean. I just feel like I could play a little bit more. No, leave it at that. No, leave it at that. Went off on a tangent there, like usual. Let me grab a piece of this thread. So this was leftover Sashiko thread when I was playing with Sashiko pre-printed panels. I'd purchased 3 or 4 of them, and I thought I better stitch one just to decide if it's my thing or not, and it's not. Felt it was a little bit too boring. It's good if you're on, say, a plane flight and you don't have, so that needle's no good, and you don't have a heap of threads and fabrics and bits with you, but you want to do some simple stitching. It's perfect. And then there's the skill of keeping your stitches, needle's not big enough, just ruined. Ruin that thread. But then I'm finding these little templates a lot of fun. So I've got a dragonfly and, you know, some of the classic geometrical shapes that is. So I really want this to go into this needle because it's a sharp, it's not going to go in. I have to go pick another one. I love that. That just seemed plain. Now I'm happy. Okay, let's start here. I see that needle slides through nicely. And it's just a running stitch. And I'm using it to highlight the design. Those little stencils I've picked up in a few spots. If you do a search on Etsy, you'll find them. Oh, come on. Caught the lace, caught the thread. That was a bit of a mess. There we go. There we go. So simple, but makes a fantastic background. And there's so many designs. Oh my goodness. Heaps and heaps. Even I've noticed at Spotlight Aussie Girls in the quilting cutting board section, there's stencils of classic quilt designs that you would lay on top of a finished quilt to quilt it down to give you, you know, flowers and butterflies and all sorts of shapes. So I was looking at those the other day. My spotlight near me is only a smallish one, so I sort of don't see the whole range that's probably out there, but I know there's a big mega spotlight building coming to Mount Cravat. So it'd be nice to have a wander through because you don't often see the whole range that's in those stores. And it's probably for you guys in the States, Michael's and Joann's, they probably have different size stores for different towns and cities and locations. They do with Spotlight. There's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. I don't know how far the alphabet's used, but and then they stock it according to, you know, the location. So I'd love to get into an A store and go to that section where all the stencils are. Instead of seeing 3, I might see 10. I don't know. I could probably just go online and see if there's a small little business selling them. And look for some floral type stencils because they'd make great backgrounds like this is, just a subtle. I thought that'd be hard to stitch, that little seam, because it's a folded over edge, but it's not. It's pretty good. My book open here thinking that I was going to bead and then stitch it into my journal and I was done, but no, she's gone off on another tangent. It's funny, you sit and bead and do something that's quite slow, so you start looking at your piece, don't you? And that line was bugging me. And it just felt weird to do a straight stitch along it. So that's finished. And that's how this came to be. Some more of this stitching. Yeah, now it's starting to look a little bit more interesting. So I will do... Oh, that's tight. Oh, here we go. It's horrible. Tight cotton fabric. But the saving grace is that it is just beautiful. A little bit of cut work. Yeah, it's so pretty. Stop your complaining, girl. There we go. So, how are we going for time? So it's about 40 minutes, maybe 50 minutes. So that's okay. Go for a little bit longer. Then I'll dodge off and finish this, iron out those lines, and then stitch it into my journal, and I'll come back and show you. Oh, that's so tight. Gosh, this is why it's so important you pick the right fabric to stitch into, because imagine a massive piece like my down the garden path French garden and your whole backing fabric was this really dense. Ugh. Just that small amount of stitching and I can feel those joints. things we do. Some say the things you do for fashion, the things you do for beauty. That doesn't apply to me at all. But the things you do for stitching, that does. Oh, that's a crooked stitch. I knew it was off. I'm going to finish that thread off. It's getting a little bird from dragging through. That fabric. So I'm going to end it off. I might pause the video then. Go and sit for a little bit. Oh, come on. Are you serious? Why so hard? It's probably because it's been going through the fabric, so it's got a little bit roughed up. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, guys, I shall toddle off, finish that, and then I think we're done. I think then it'll be a case of adding it to the journal and finished. Ready to go again. All right, guys, I shall pause and I'll be back. Hello, everyone. I'm back. I'm back. And the stitching is done, the sashiko style stitching, and I'm calling my piece finished. I love it, love it. I'm happy now. I feel like I'm at rest with it. So I'm just going to grab my journal. Now, if you remember, the page was going to go on the back of this guy. So I've got this page here that I'll stitch it to, and then that lays down and the stitches are hidden in behind. So that's the plan. So all I've got to do is just make sure everything is seated nicely, add some pins, then invisible stitch it all down, and it'll be forever in my journal, unless I take it out for some reason and add some more beads, or who knows. That's the beauty of these journals, is they're just slip stitched in. You can remove them at any time you want to. You might come across some fabric you want to add to it. You can pull the piece out and stitch some more, or you might see a technique that you think, oh, that'd suit the pears. So all I'm going to do is just pin it in, and then with my cotton, scoot around and attach it to that. And then when I feel like everything's seated right, it'll attach there. Oh, I like how, see the apple picks up that. There you go, there's a happy surprise. It actually looks good with that. There you go. There's my apples, and my apple and my pears. Very good. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you alone and I'll toddle off, and let me just zoom up a little bit. I'll toddle off and stitch this into my journal, and it's forever got its home. All right, look after yourselves, have a lovely day, and yeah, see you around. And yes, there'll be another pear coming. It'll be a Christmas decoration pear, so look out for that, and we'll have another play. Bye.